Of all the hot topic questions I've gotten in the last year or so, this is probably the one I get the most. I have people in one ear telling me that CLO isn't necessary anymore. I have others that look at me sideways when I promote my Illustrator courses. And I have a whole lot of students just wondering, which one should I learn? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mikkel Drew Pelham. I talk about digital fashion design tools, how to communicate your ideas clearly, and how to turn creativity into a sustainable fashion business. If you're tired of guessing what fashion software to use, what skills to learn, and what actually matters as you build your brand, this channel is for you. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you can keep learning with me. So, of course, the answer to that question, which one should I learn, has a more complex answer than just yes or no. And the reason is because these two software options aren't really interchangeable. Though people talk about them like they do, each one does not do the same thing. So let's talk about why you use Illustrator and when you'd want to use CLO or some other 3D fashion design software instead. So first, let's discuss what fashion designers tend to use Illustrator for. The most well-known reason to use Illustrator is for flat sketching. For many industry designers, flat sketching encompasses the majority of their sketching time. Of course, flat sketches are very important for tech packs, and many of us find our sketches used in various parts of the business, from CADs to line sheets, sometimes even catalogs, occasionally in customer-facing situations like e-com sites. Illustrator is also extremely versatile and flexible and allows designers as well as others within your organization to use it. As a designer, I've worked in smaller companies where I was the graphics team, the print team, the marketing team. So I've designed t-shirt graphics, logos, all over prints, hang tags, brochures, catalogs. I've done my concept boards in there, color CADs. So I think one of the reasons Illustrator was so popular, besides it being a great technical drawing program, is that it allows you to do so many other things. And when you're a new business, you're always trying to find what will give you the most bang for your buck. And you can get a lot of use cases from one Illustrator license. So for an independent designer, the benefits to choosing Illustrator would be, it's the go-to tool for flat sketching. It's immediately applicable for tech packs and other design development documents. It's an overall versatile tool with the ability to be used for many things within your business. And one more thing I didn't mention before, but it's an important point. The learning curve for Illustrator is a bit, dare I say, a lot lighter than for 3D software. Yes, the pen tool is often a bit tricky to get the hang of, but it's still a simpler tool to learn. Now, as much as I love Illustrator, I'd be lying if I said there weren't drawbacks to using it. First, any designer, particularly those who are used to sketching by hand, will probably tell you that it's not really that intuitive. Granted, at this point, there's a lot of things that I do in Illustrator naturally, but I've also been using it for the past 28 years. So while I can tell you it definitely gets better the more you practice, I still remember having to quit and restart the program over and over again because I could not figure out how to use that daggone pen tool. And this was years before YouTube, y'all, so I couldn't just Google it or find a video to learn what I was doing wrong. Flats are essentially technical drawings, and while many of them these days are a little more fluid and stylized than the stiff and boardy looking ones I learned to draw in college, they still don't always capture the fluidity or nuances of fabric. It also doesn't simulate fit or movement. While it's helpful for technical designers and pattern making, it's purely two-dimensional. So while a good flat sketch captures the details and proportions and the overall fit intent of a design, it doesn't tell the full story because it's not shown on the body. And when you see the design in 3D or on an actual body, some things that may look good on a two-dimensional sketch suddenly look a bit different, and not always in a good way. Now, let's talk about why 3D. For a fashion designer, 3D is used for a variety of reasons. First, It's used for garment simulation and visualization, meaning you're able to see what your design would look like on a digital version of a real body. Designers often use it to test fit and overall aesthetics before cutting a garment. It allows you to present your designs to a client in a way that's more realistic and usually more understandable than a flat sketch. And this also becomes that missing piece that a flat sketch can't communicate to a vendor. It communicates a silhouette, drape, and movement to a manufacturer. So for an independent designer, the benefits of choosing to learn 3D fashion design software are being able to clearly communicate, whether that's to a manufacturer or to a client, fit and movement of your design. It provides cost and time savings by allowing you to work out construction and aesthetic design issues before sampling. It bridges the gap between what you've drawn and what the design might actually look like when it's constructed. It also allows you to confirm that what you dreamed up can actually be constructed. And lastly, and I'm sure this seems extraneous and not that important, but showing 3D line sheets and lookbooks provide a wow factor to your clients. Now, to that last point, I know there are some that will push back and say, well, AI can do that and do it faster. However, the difference here is that AI can make anything look like it fits or look good or that it's feasible. But when you're in 3D and you're forced to make a pattern and digitally sew it together, that's the real test of whether this idea you've dreamed up can actually be made into a real garment. Sounds great, right? But here's a few things that you want to consider if you've decided 3D fashion software is the path you want to take. The first thing is that 3D has a much steeper learning curve than Illustrator. Completely doable if you're willing to put in the time to practice, but it does require regular practice. The next thing is that for most people, it almost always requires a hardware upgrade. Unlike Illustrator, which, although the requirement is 16 gigs of RAM, it'll operate on most computers. I've seen it on my students' computers. And one of my older ones for that matter. 3D basically requires you to have a gaming computer to function. I remember the first time I put CLO on my old Mac, working in the 2D window was painfully slow. And every time I tried to simulate, the minute I hit the space bar, the program just shut down. So just know if you really want to use CLO, get ready to not only make the investment in the software and possibly a course, but also you'll need to make an investment in a computer upgrade as well. 3D can also be a little intimidating. Part of the reason I created my CLO course was because I wanted to help simplify learning 3D. I know when I started, I was self-taught, and although I've also gotten some instruction since then, I remember trying to find YouTube videos or look things up in their manual, and I was still all over the place. I was confused. I wondered if I would ever figure out all those tools. And for a minute, I thought, okay, I don't have to know everything. This will just be one of those things that I'm not gonna get. Fortunately, I didn't give up. I took baby steps and I tackled CLO in bite-sized chunks, which is how my course is set up. And with time and lots of practice, it all started to click. And then it started to become fun. So having said all that, you still might be asking, great, but how do I choose which fashion software to learn? So let me offer this scenario. You've got designer A and designer B. Designer A already has their sketches. They're actively looking for a manufacturer. They want to get samples. And what they need right now is to get tech packs completed to pass to said manufacturer. So the pain point here is around how to clearly communicate with their manufacturer to get an accurate sample of their design vision. This designer should be learning Illustrator first. Designer B is still developing and validating their idea. They want to see if the design idea works and can actually be constructed before they ask someone to make it. They also might have private clients and they want to show them a design idea that looks realistic and that they can confidently say is feasible and can actually be made. The pain point here is that they need to visualize and validate their designs to ensure that when they finally decide to cut the sample, it's something that will actually fit and can be produced. That designer should be learning CLO3D or some other 3D fashion design software first. And notice I said first. Most of you are going to be designer A and designer B. And so you'll likely want to learn both software at some point. What you need to do is assess where you are and what you need and or want to do now. And that will determine which of these fashion software tools you need to learn today. Thanks for watching this week's video. Whether you've decided to learn Illustrator to start creating your flat sketches for your tech packs, or CLO3D to start validating and visualizing your designs, we have a course for each of these in the 383 Digital Fashion Design Academy. You can choose a one-time purchase of the course or become a member of the Academy starting at $39 a month. That also gets you access to our budding community of independent designers, any course updates we make while you're a member, and additional design resources. So if you're interested, the link to the Academy is in the description. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with another designer who needs to hear it. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next time.